Hi everybody. This is my ICT Analytics final project presentation. It's based on April 10th through the 16th of 2017. Six areas I looked at were audience overview, geography overview, site speed overview, mobile overview, e-commerce overview, and social overview. So with the audience overview, as I mentioned, April 10th through 16th, of course, that was actually the week of Easter, and Easter did hit the Google Store pretty hard. As we could see here, during the weekend, of course, traffic did have a noticeable decline. Even though the traffic overall was still higher than average, you can just kind of tell that even Google sites are not immune to having their traffic hit by holidays. Of course, we could see that our bounce rate and our was still below 50%, which is generally good. And of course, our average duration for visitors was around 3 minutes. So when we look at geography by overview or geography overview, we're looking at engagement by area, basically meaning how what kind of traffic and what kind of engagement is coming from different countries. So sessions, bounce rates. We can actually see that the U.S. had the highest, of course, sessions, number of sessions, session rates, and of course, revenue, more so than the next several countries combined. Countries following it, of course, are India, United Kingdom, Canada, Taiwan. It's also interesting to see that the United Kingdom and actually every country behind the United States had a higher bounce rate. The actual bounce rate for the US is actually lower than average. So with site speed, it's pretty much a performance based overview. So how long things are taking to work, how long like pages are taking to load up, so on and so on. We can actually see here that, of course, on Easter weekend, traffic is lower, thus the speed of the pages loading is going to be faster. We can also see from browsers that sites or browsers such as Edge top the charts as far as fastest speed. And of course, Mozilla Firefox is near the bottom, and so on and so on. And of course, we have countries' average load times. Now, the interesting thing here that really doesn't have an explanation is why the United States, despite having the most traffic, is not at the bottom of the list. It's somewhere in the middle, but it's not at the bottom. So it could also be a technical issue as well. And of course, countries like the Netherlands and Belarus that won't have as much traffic are going to have faster load times. So social overview is how sites such as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, so on will actually will actually impact traffic to the Google Merchandise Store, tracking interaction and engagement. We can actually see here YouTube predominantly had or their traffic from YouTube took up most of the sessions. Of course, the site is also owned by Google, so that offers an explanation. There might also be referral links, site links directing people to the Google Merchandise Store. Because of the nature of sharing on sites like Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook, that might also explain why these sites also still have a noticeable 5 to 6% percentage rate of sessions. You might actually share the Google Merchandise Store with somebody on your Facebook or somebody on Twitter via retweeting, so on and so on. So it is important to know where this traffic is coming from and how to make it work to your advantage. So with our mobile overview, we pretty much can tell the statistics from different mobile devices. So one thing we should notice is that, of course, on April 16th, during that Easter holiday, there was still less traffic. So it just shows you not only were people did not have access to a desktop, but people just generally were not interested in any kind of shopping, especially at the Google Merchandise Store, or at least interest was declined noticeably during the weekend. Of course, it picked up after the holiday. So we do see here that while sessions on desktop does have a higher number of sessions, the mobile devices and tablets have a higher percentage of new sessions. So our e-commerce overview pretty much shows us our revenue versus different statistics. In this case, average pricing. So we can actually see what items are actually selling well. But more importantly, we actually see this trend that when the average price goes down, the revenue goes up. It's not a surprise that people are attracted to cheaper goods and products. So, two things we can really assume here are that visitors and overall revenue are going to be impacted during non-commercial holidays such as Easter. Other examples may be, Thanksgiving, for example. Although to be fair, that is more closer to the holiday season, and of course, Black Friday is right after that. But it's just that these non-commercial holidays, such as Easter, are not going to have or are going to have an impact simply because they're not about purchasing different products and goods. And of course, that geography is going to have an impact on where visitors may come from. So, for example, because the US has more disposable income, it's going to have more traffic than, say, India. So, assumptions like this do correlate with consumer behavior. So, what kind of insights can we draw from the analysis that we made? Are that consumers are less incentive to make purchases when money can be spent elsewhere, such as holidays or the weekends. People might be going out during the weekends and they may be more interested in watching movies or going out to dinner or spending time with friends and so on and so on. So, recommendations are offer incentives during downtime such as the weekends and holidays, such as we can see in number 3 here, flash sales are actually a good example. It'll actually encourage people to keep an eye out for the Google Store. So you'll have a natural influx of traffic. And of course, to use social media to gain traffic. So, for example, funneling traffic through the merchandise store through heavily engagement areas such as Twitter and Reddit, where people are constantly retweeting. And of course, using YouTube using referral links, such as what Amazon uses on different social media platforms.